right. Well, we have a real treat here as we get ready for the 2026 season here. Our first set pieces interview for this season starts off with the skipper for FC Birmingham coming back to us, uh, Coach Greg Greguol. Thank you for taking time out to talk to us today here at ASMG. And I kind of wanted to kind of get into sort of the details of you coming back, but first of all, last season, you saw some of the stuff that was going on with the team, and I spoke to the director of football there, Doug Walk, and there was
Uh-huh.
a lot of conflict and things going on off the field, particularly with the
Yeah.
venue, other things that were going on. First of all, let's talk about that before we get into this new season. How much of an effect do you think that that had in the results that ultimately happened with FC Birmingham in the fall season last year?
Yeah. First, I want to thank you for the invitation to this interview. I think it's been a ongoing thing, about finding venues. Sadly, a lot of people is not supporting us the way it should be as a club. Because we are a good club, and Doug and there's a lot of people working behind the scenes to make all this possible. And trust me, they have been working hard to get us, a venue that we can call home, training facilities, all that kind of stuff. And now you mentioned that if that has a lot, yes, it has a lot to do, with the results because a lot of players get discouraged when you're jerked from one side to the other as far as training. Sometimes you drive 20 minutes, sometimes you drive an hour. So, it's kind of, it has a lot of impact within the players. And some of them don't understand everything that it takes to run a club. And, once you're in it and you see the whole inside of a club, you start understanding everything that entails, to make it run. And yes, I mean, some of the players, don't take it seriously. Some of the players, just get discouraged because the talent is there, man. I mean, the talent has always been there. Birmingham has a lot of talent from everywhere, and right now I think that we're trying to collect that talent, put it in a team, and so we can compete. The UPSL has a lot of competitive level, and it increases with every season. So you either catch up or
Right.
it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I noticed, Coach, last season. We did a number of the games for ASMG
Hmm.
with the broadcast, and we covered them on our podcast. And one of the things that kept coming up is it was always close. There were
Yes.
games that you were ahead, you were maybe behind, but then caught up. But it's at the last minute, those critical moments in the late parts of those games, there seemed to be something missing there, and that's where the points have been dropped. But you did
Yes.
enough. FC Birmingham did enough to survive and stay in
Hmm.
Premier, which is great now. And with you coming back, I think
Yeah.
that that's going to maybe add some stability there and
Yes.
get
And
get over that hump where you've been missing last season. What are your
yes,
thoughts on that, on coming back like that?
that's what we're working on. And I think a lot of it was organization. I think it was more organization and fitness from the team. Um, when I left, I had to leave for a couple of seasons due to some personal issues that I had. But now we're back. We're stronger than ever. And right now we're gonna work on the organization, the fitness, and because Andre, the thing about a team is you can have as many stars as you want. Like I
Mhm.
said, the talent is there, but if it's not organized, you're not gonna get anywhere. Because my philosophy has always been we win as a team, and that's the only way that we can do it. That's how we got to the final with the second team when I was in charge of the second team. That's how we got there. I mean, we couldn't win it because of a couple of mistakes that we made, but the team was organized. And I
Right.
think that. That's the main thing that we need to do now is organize the team, get the new players to buy in our style of play and everything, and see what happens. I mean, you've seen teams that gradually got better, like Potros. Potros is a powerhouse right now, and I was talking to Doug about that, and it's because they started um, getting all these good players, but the organization had a lot to do with it. Kalonji has always been, a high level team. Coach Bruno, now he's the national team U23, I believe,
Yeah, yeah, St. Kitts.
national team coach. I mean, you have amazing coaches. We through the years have had amazing coaches like Coach Goldfarb, Carlos Mercado, coaches with high level of high IQ in this sport. And I think that when I came in, I have to kind of keep the level up.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, though, Coach. With you coming back now, I think it's an exciting prospect because, like I said earlier in the interview here, it's going to provide some stability, which I think was missing last season. But
Correct.
how has it been now that you've come back? You've dealt with some personal issues. You come back now in the team, uh,
hmm
and with the players that are there, how are they responding to you coming back? Are they
So
excited
we
about
had
that?
we had our first practice yesterday because we started late due to weather. We can do tryouts because of weather and whatnot. The base of the team was already there. And a lot of these guys, yesterday I saw they were excited to get back at to the hard work, and I think they needed that, a little bit. And I'm not trying to talk down to any coaches, that were there before me, but sometimes, coaching is not easy. It's not for everybody, and I say you can be the best player, but if you're not made to be a coach, you're never going to be a coach. It takes a lot of dedication. And the main thing is to understand the team as a whole and to understand each individual player, where they come from, what is their background, what kind of trouble they have. Sometimes, they have issues at home. You have to take all that in account, and be accountable for that. Like help them out if you can. If not, just show your support. And the players, they respond to that. And I think
Right.
yesterday, even though we had a hard, hard work day, everybody was excited and I could see it. I mean, the energy was there. So I think that this season, the team is gonna come out to do some damage, and I'm hoping for that.
Well, great. And you mentioned about the success of Portros. Of course, we know about
hmm
Kalanji. There's Georgia Revolution. There's these
Yeah.
clubs that are well established there. And as you saw from last season, what can you say about your preparations going into the spring season now that you've seen this talent there, but you also get, like you said before, you have a lot of talent too. Do you think it's going to
Yeah.
step it up a bit this season?
Yeah. So right now, I'm worried about getting them in shape, and then talking about what formation we're gonna use most of the time. Obviously, I'm gonna change from time to time, depending on the game. But um, I have to still see their strength, the player strength on which positions, and see what formation I can use, to get the most out of them. So we have this week, today and tomorrow, practice to see that, and then we have 3 more days next week before our first friendly. We're gonna have a friendly with Faulkner University, which is a very strong team too. I mean, just it's full of Brazilian professional team. It's kind of like a third division Brazilian team. So we're
Wow.
hoping to go out there and show a good performance, and then be ready for the first game of the regular season with you guys.
All right, great, great. Well, I see what your plans are for the short term. You're getting the guys into shape, and you want to find
hmm
out the best formation, the best strategies to use going into the season. But ultimately, what's your long-term goals with the club and with the individual players, for instance?
So every professional club always has a plan, and it's a plan that goes anywhere from 3 to 8 years.
Mhm.
to develop a philosophy, to develop a system, to develop, a base of of play and everything. And I think right now we're kind of rushing it. So I'm hoping that this season, obviously, the objective is to get to the playoffs and perform well there. But that's not where it stops. We are thriving, and I know that we can do it. Is possibly get to the championship, and within the next 2 3 seasons, make it to the nationals and perform well there. It's just a matter of having the team to buy in and everything. Because sometimes you get players that are not committed. Sometimes you get players that are very committed and get discouraged because and last season, there was some players that I believe that one showing up. You can't run a practice with 7 players. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of like I think, but that falls into me as a coach and Doug as a director of the club. And like I said, there's a lot of people involved back there. On the background that is trying to make this as um, as appealing to the player as they can. And I think we are on a good track. I think we're gonna get to where we need to get, and just move up from there.
Well, great, coach. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do this coming season. I think it's going to be one of the most exciting seasons that we've had here in the Georgia Conference. I think
Yes,
we
sir.
have one of the stronger conferences there. And from
Yes.
what I saw from last season, it seemed like you were just one step below where you needed to be, but maybe you're going to make that step up. And I don't,
Yes.
I think the sky's the limit with you guys from what I've seen. So I wish
Yes,
you
and,
great
and
luck in
it's
that.
always the sky's always the limit. We just need to understand that we're not, because I mean, to me, this is not a semi-pro league anymore. You're talking about Kalonjis, you're talking about Potros, you're talking about teams like the Red Wolves that just joined.
Yes,
Atlanta United that we played them before. I mean, this is a professional environment. I
I
mean,
agree.
just because it has a semi-pro there, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that the players don't get paid, but everything else is the same. So you're playing against professional teams and you have to be professional to compete. So that's where we're trying to get our team together and make them understand that they're not anymore amateurs. This is a professional environment. You have to become a professional.
Yes.
Hopefully, get them something. They'll get something out of it, from that.
Absolutely, Coach. And as we see from the UPSL website, we see so many of these players going on and signing professional contracts now.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
a large number of them going through, especially from the southeast here in this area. So,
Hmm.
that's the exciting thing about the UPSL, watching your team, watching the players that are there, because you're seeing the future stars in this
Yes.
country. And I think the UPSL is doing the best job of developing those stars that are being overlooked
Hmm.
by some of the other
Correct.
leagues. And those who know me out there know what my feelings are about that.
It definitely, there's a lot of good exposure with the UPSL. I mean, there's
Yeah,
definitely, a lot of exposure for players that they want to get to the next level. But it's not just the exposure. They have to show, they have what it takes.
exactly.
And that's what we're trying to make them understand. It's not, I'm not gonna make you a professional. You have to be a professional. I can, hold your hand and take you to a certain point, but after that, it's up to you to get to where you need to be.
Exactly. You got to get the best out of them, but it's up to them
Exactly.
to make that step for themselves. So
Hmm.
I really look forward to that. Well, Coach, I know that you're in the middle of preparation for the season for your friendlies coming up. ASMG is looking forward to doing a partnership with your club for the season for more
Hmm.
coverage, for more broadcasts. So we look forward to doing that. But thank you for taking time out to talk to us today. And
No
we look forward
problem.
to talking to you again during the season.
Always glad to talk to you guys. I mean, this is amazing what you guys are doing.
Well, thank you very much, Coach. Well, you have a good rest of the day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Andre.